Okay, right, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, pre-market report. How many of you out here have heard of an economic doom loop? It's a real thing. You can look it up for yourself. Right now, here in the United States, we have achieved the definition of an economic doom loop. Now, generally, once an economic doom loop is entered into, and we're there now, there's almost no way to get out of it. Here in the United States, right now, in my opinion, we have an out. We have one out. One. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But before we get there, I want to cover some economic news. This is from this morning here. Interesting, again, set of dynamics in play. Let's start off with this one from Reuters. So, U.S. small business sentiment ticks down in June. Let me just read this to you verbatim. It's kind of short. So, Reuters from today: U.S. small business confidence slipped in June as overall small business felt they had too much inventory on hand, hoping for a turnaround in the economy. Hope is not a solution here, and it's unfortunate. But anyway, I get it. Look, man, a lot of people believed things would be different. I don't understand why. Again, it's too simple to put this together and to determine what the most likely outcome will be. So, anyway, with U.S. small businesses, first of all, look, man, we, I have spoken about how the pressure on the middle class, which includes small businesses, once the backbone of every nation, especially here in the United States, is being erased in favor of the corporate agenda. And that mechanism will not be interfered with, unfortunately. And we are going to see a wipeout. Again, this is the doom loop that we're in. We're not here by accident. We're being put here. We've been put here in this economic doom loop, again, which we'll cover in a moment. And this is going to worsen from here unless one thing, one happens. And again, we're going to cover that in a second. So U.S. small business here confidence slipped in June as overall small business felt they had too much inventory on hand, hoping for a turnaround in the economy. Weak sales and rising input costs, we've been talking about this forever and it's not going to stop, added to declining optimism over the outlook for U.S. small businesses moving forward. Again, no surprise to a single one of you who follow this blog. It's always the little guy who gets squeezed. And this is not just about small business here. It's the U.S. consumer, their purchasing power being literally stolen here. And then the calls for lower rates here means not even your savings account are going to be able to keep up with the rising rate of inflation. It's not going to stop. Every mechanism in place right now, there's not a single roadblock, not one, being put up to prevent inflation from accelerating from where we are right now, especially when you hear calls from politicians about, we need a weaker dollar so the United States can compete on the global trading arena. This is a big lie. Anyone that bought that really drank too much Kool-Aid. You could kill literally the remaining purchasing power of the dollar, which is about 4%. And still the world is going to jump for joy and rush out to acquire U.S. made products. It's over here. And this doom loop that we are in, again, look this up for yourself. I'm not making it up. This is a real thing. And we're in it right now. So we got this, again, terrible news for U.S. small businesses, which are going to be shuttering like you can't believe moving forward. So Citi and JP Morgan signal elevated risk of profit taking in the stock market. Okay, we haven't seen any of this in a while, so yes, we could see this. Yesterday we had a sell-off in the stock market. Nothing dramatic here. We are seeing a sell-off in the debt market this morning, you're seeing bond yields rise. That's going to put a little pressure, has the potential to put pressure on the stock market. But I'll tell you something else. The paradox here, the fact that we are now in a doom loop means the market actually might go higher. We'll talk about that in a second. So anyway, just let me read this to you. So Citi and JP Morgan signal elevated risk of profit taking. U.S. investment banks, Citi and JP Morgan, published reports on investor flows and exposure, both of which signal that conditions are ripe for profit taking in the market. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I'll be honest with you. But that does not mean that the market isn't going higher, potentially much higher, especially again on the back of this doom loop, and maybe this too. So President Trump, let me read this to you here. I folded it in the wrong place. President Trump is now sending that you, because he can't do it, of course, will be sending more weapons to Ukraine. This actually came out late yesterday. I asked for thoughts and comments for those of you that do subscribe to the Freedom Platform. If you feel like doing so, link in the description of this video. There was many comments. So let me just read this to you. So Trump says the United States will send more weapons to Ukraine. I'm going to read this to you verbatim. Again, CNBC, you can look this up for yourself. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday, yesterday, the United States will send more weapons to Ukraine to help the war-torn country defend itself against intensifying Russian advances. Now, I thought that President Trump wants to win the Nobel Peace Prize. This may get in the way of that, or maybe there's something else going on. I do want to hear from you on this. Is this what you expected to see or not? Again, up to you guys and girls. Let me know what you think. Now, I want to talk about this. Again, if you do subscribe to the Freedom Platform, our Freedom Platform, which is a beautiful thing in my view, we are going to make a positive difference beyond what you can imagine. I have plans for this like you can't believe. An economic doom loop we are in. But now I'm going to ask you guys and girls to do your own research on this. Honestly, this breakdown here that I've done for you took me no time at all. Just look up economic doom loop. It basically breaks down everything here that I'm going to cover briefly for you. You want the full breakdown of this? Real simple. It's a click away. Link in the description of this video. Subscribe to the Freedom Platform and you're going to get stuff like this and stuff you can't even imagine in your inbox. So let's just briefly sketch through this. So an economic doom loop, we are in one, and this is the full breakdown. Lions, U.S. small businesses are getting crushed faster. Don't take Greg Mannarino's word for it. Oh, no. This is today from Reuters. Okay. With rising input costs and inventory stockpiles, they cannot move. Consumer demand is rapidly dropping as currency debasement accelerates. Full stop. Right there begins the economic doom loop. Pretty self-explanatory. Now with that, an economic doom loop is here now. Let's break this down. Now again, I'm going to just do a very brief breakdown for you. The full breakdown is right in your inbox. You have this in your hand right now. This is a weapon. A weapon. So you can keep yourself ahead of the curve and understand what's really going on. So you can take action. What are you going to do? You're going to sit back and suck your thumb off somewhere, or realize we're in an economic doom loop for which there is one solution. One and only one right now. Will it happen? You guys and girls tell me when I get to the end of this. But this allows you guys and girls, to think ahead. Animals and small children live in the moment. You, as an adult, must not live in the moment, but think ahead. What does it mean for you if you realize that we are in an economic doom loop? Not by accident. No comedy of errors got us here. This is deliberate. And there are mechanisms in place right now to make it worse. And they're going to happen. So let's break this down, and I'm just going to do this real quick. So insurance, healthcare, and medical service prices are skyrocketing across the board. And it's accelerated, again, by what? Currency debasement and potential supply chain issues. Two, food and agriculture across the board, farmland consolidation, soaring costs, key crops, meats and grains, and food producers what are they doing? They're shrinking packages, classic shrinkflation. Discretionary retail consumer goods, credit is drying up. We all know that. Okay, if you've been with me for any length of time or paying any attention whatsoever to what's happening, well, you know that is exactly what's going on here. And of course, what happens? Small businesses get hurt again first. Now, real estate and commercial and some residential. Okay, office space in major cities are in free fall. Do your own research on this, man. This is no secret. And even with people returning to office, this doom loop isn't changing. It's a shadow collapse. We've spoken about this before. And certain housing markets, well, the consumer's tapped out. So you can only imagine what this means. Used cars, furniture, electronics. Now, post-scam-demic, post-scam-demic demand boom is, it's gone now. Energy, global instability, supply chain issues. Energy prices have nowhere to go moving forward, but much higher. On the back of multiple things. Again, global instability. You think we have anything stable going on here in the United States or anywhere around the world? More war? President Trump just awarding more weapons to Ukraine? You're paying for it. You do realize that, right? Okay, of course you do, but that wasn't supposed to happen. People, nothing is what it appears to be ever. When Babylon offers you a savior, that's time for you to wake up, okay? And that time is now. Anyway, so basically what I want to read to you, and I'll read this in its entirety, is this. Lions. What I just covered for you, I put here what you just read, is the definition of an economic doom loop. Once an economic doom loop has started, and again, you really think we're here by accident? And we are in one now. It moves faster into a tailspin. Now, without direct intervention, here's the one solution. You tell me if this is going to happen. Without direct intervention, which would require dramatic changes to the financial/monetary system, as in one example, the only way out, return purchasing power to the currency, not take it away. This mechanism cannot be stopped. It will worsen from here. What this would mean is President Trump and J.D. Vance would have to absolutely reverse course. Instead of saying, we need a weaker currency, this is going to help you, we're going to bury ourselves in more debt, and that's going to bring us more prosperity. Because again, how does a central bank lower rates? How does a central bank weaken the currency? It gets to create vast amounts of it out of nothing. Add digits to a screen. What does that do? It debases the currency. President Trump knows that. J.D. Vance, I don't know what he knows or not. He's just a puppet, more so than anybody else, I think, here. It's not going to happen. Because, again, the lie must be sold to you that this is going to make the United States competitive on the global trade. Let's take the remaining 4% of purchasing power of the dollar away. Well, which will increase the doom loop, of course. Not going to do anything here. No one's going to jump for joy for U.S. products. But again, you were sold that lie. My question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to start pushing back? MAGA people, I love you guys and girls. I understand what has happened to you. You have been duped. You have been lied to on a scale that I think has your head spinning. Question is, are you going to realize that you have a voice? Or you're going to still stay mute, locked in some corner, sucking your thumb up, not knowing what to do? Now is the time for us to unify. Take off the chains that the blue party and the red party and whatever America party might be coming. Again, another savior with Elon Musk here. Forget about it, man. It ain't happening. The system is not going to help you. It doesn't matter what they do, who puts it there, what name they put on it, what stamp of approval they put on it. It doesn't matter, okay? We need to fix this from the bottom up. And that means we need to take responsibility. We've allowed this to happen. This isn't the fault of any one man or any one party. It's our fault. Now, if we realize that, it's also our responsibility to fix it. That means for the MAGA people and everybody else, open your mouths. You've been given a voice, not to sit back and do nothing, but to do something with it. And that would require a massive push back. on everything that we're seeing right now, the lies, the deceptions, the Epstein list. It's on my desk. Oh wait, there's no Epstein list. It just vanished out of thin air. Do you guys see what's going on here? How about all those arrests that were supposed to happen? How about we're still at 0, 0, 0, 0? Uh, yeah, did you buy that one? I told you it wouldn't happen. You didn't believe me. You laughed at Greg Mannarino. Oh, Greg, you don't know how wrong you are. There's going to be arrests. There's going to be people in handcuffs. Well, how about no? Just as we said would not happen here on this blog. See, the people here are awake. Only question is, are you going to join us? And you're welcome here, especially those of you who decide to join our Freedom Platform. I hope to see you there as well. Full breakdowns of everything, including this doom loop, which is a real thing. Anyway, guys, love you with all I got. With all I got. I want to hear from you on all this. Does this surprise you? Does this surprise you? No. You knew this was going to happen. It's not going to stop. Does that sound familiar to you? I hope so. Because we've only been talking about this since time immemorial. Love you. Love you with all I got, my entire spirit, my soul, everything. All right? I will see you guys later, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. I want to hear from you on all these things as usual. And I suppose that's about it. All right? And, well, that's all.